I want to turn to the question that now has the most votes at 20. And I think I'm going to throw this question to Daniel's way. It's another personal kind of question. And it says, why does the Bible make sense and is really interesting one day and feel like drudgery the next? Why does the Bible make sense and is really interesting one day and then feel like drudgery the next? Some of us on this call may have experienced this question from Kevin as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll try to be so brief, man. I remember that when I was in high school, I had to wake up really early to get to high school. I was like the first guy picked up on the bus ride. So just like, yeah, so way too early. And when I am tired early in the morning, I never, ever have an appetite. But I was one of those students, some of you can relate, I wanted to do well in school. And I knew that like if I don't have my breakfast, I'm not going to do well. And so my mom had this talent. I hope she's watching tonight. Love you, Mom. She had this talent for picking out like the most bland and tasteless and textureless cereal. So if you're not hungry and then you get this, like there's just the odds are stacked against me. But like I force fed myself the cereal because even though it didn't feel vibrant and it didn't feel like it didn't feel amazing. It wasn't like a mango smoothie. You just feel awesome to have a mango smoothie. It still fed me and gave me nutrition. And I share that because the same is true with the Bible. Sometimes, like you're recognizing, sometimes you read the Bible and it's just like filled with drama, intrigue, and speaks right to your soul. And other times we're reading through, my wife and I are reading through Numbers right now, and it reads a bit like my mama's cereal tasted. But like if the Bible is what we believe that it is, and there's good reason to believe that it is, then this is the living word of God that feeds our soul. The Bible refers to itself as the bread of life. That's a term also used for Jesus. And we need the Bible, we need Jesus in order to be able to live the life that God has won for us. What Vince was talking about, that we were called to engage in the epic cosmic battle of good versus evil, of seeking to shine light in the darkness. Like we can't do that if we don't have our spiritual food. Now, you didn't ask me, what do I do if? You said why. Maybe I can punt that to one of my colleagues. Why does the Bible sometimes feel amazing? Other times it feels dry.
Yeah, I would just jump in there and say, it's because the Bible is about relationship. If the Bible was just supposed to be a list of laws or a list of facts or a scientific textbook, then maybe it would just kind of be even keeled. Maybe you would experience it quite similarly all the way through. But that's not the way a relationship is. And so the fact that there are these ups and downs when we're engaging with the Bible, I actually take that as an encouragement, because it's one of the things that tells me that God actually wants to be in a real relationship with me. And when I think about the relationships that are most important in my life, I think about some of the things that my wife Jo has written to me. When we first were dating, she was traveling in Mongolia. Actually, she wrote me a 42-page double-sided letter back from Mongolia. Right? We're still in the dating phase, and I'm like analyzing this thing. I'm sweating as I'm reading it. I'm writing all sorts of notes in the margins. I had to wrestle through this document. It wasn't easy because I was getting to know a new person. And then another time, actually, before we got engaged, she wrote me a list of 40 things that no one knew about her that she wanted me to know before we got engaged. Beautiful thing to do, but absolutely traumatizing as well, right? And there were a lot of ups and downs as we talked through that list of things. But the fact that she was willing to share with me not just the easy things, but the challenging things, was a sign of the depth of relationship she desired with me. And I think when we experience some of those ups and downs as we wrestle through the scriptures, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a God who doesn't just want us to understand him superficially, but someone who's willing to put the challenging things before us, encourage us to work through them in the context of community, because that's how deep he wants our relationship with him to be.
And can I just share one pro tip? For those of you who are there on my talk on prayer, I share this thing about Nehemiah. I think it was pretty dramatic and compelling about Nehemiah was someone who was like praying for these people so far away in this broken setting. And he was just like a boss. He was like a beast, like Joe Vitale, just praying and praying and praying for their well-being. And that the encouragement in seeing that he was praying through all the changes in the months and the seasons, he wouldn't give up. This is directly to what you're saying, which is that where I saw that, like, it's actually a fairly boring page of the Bible. It feels like what you're talking about. And often when we get to boring pages that seem dry, we just kind of read it as quick as we can and move on. But what I did instead this time is I slowed down. And I did what you could do. I just Googled the month that he started praying. I don't. It's written in a foreign language in a different part of the world. So it's at first reading can easily be just kind of bland to us. But I just Googled the month he started praying. I Googled the month that he finally had breakthrough. And all of a sudden it came into focus and I saw that they were so far apart. And so I think that often when, and I can, for the sake of time, I won't go through more examples, but I want to. But where the Bible sometimes seems bland, instead of just speeding up and then being bored, slow it down. If you can ask your parents or your pastor to get you a good commentary, that will really help being able to slow it down and dig a little deeper. And you'll see that page after page of the Bible is actually teeming with life. But even if you're bored, keep reading it.